I actually have a path now. There is a path leading into the backyard, which I needed to clear a path because Bolt's nose has found them. All right, we'll get this out of the way real quick and we'll come back to it. Bolt's like, I can smell them. He's like, I can smell them. They're up there. There is treats up there. I can smell them. Let's check it out, Bolt. Let's see what we got here. We have some names on this piece of paper that has awarded Bolt some doggy treats for being such a great dog on the channel. So what do you think, Bolt? You want some treats? Let's check it out. Let's see. First, we'll do Timothy. I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. Timothy Hazel. I know you had gotten 3, but we'll just do 1 right now for you. Bolt. All right. See if you can catch this. Ready, Bolt? You know the drill. You have to, if you catch this, they get a prize. Not even close. Sorry, Timmy. All right, we'll let Bolt snack on that 1. I have to put these far enough up here so he won't dig into them. All right, back to my path that is in my backyard. So you can actually go from the front to the back right now. And that is because I had to make room to get a car out. Yes, I sold, no, didn't sell, I traded a Charger. Do you remember the 74 Charger that I took to duct tape drags? Well, oh crap, police are looking for me. Do you think they saw us doing that? All right, they're gone. So, I traded that 74 Charger for a 69 Charger. Not this one, but I had to pull this car and my dirt track 70 Charger out of the backyard. But see, those cars both run and drive, so it's easy just to fire them up and pull them out of the way. If you have not seen my 69 RT Charger circle track car, this is an asphalt car that we are turning into a Daytona. There's a full build series on that car. Also, if you have not seen the dirt track 70 Charger, yes, this thing is beat to crap. And it was amazing to drive and thrash on up in North Dakota on our own home-built racing car track. So if you haven't seen either one of those, I would suggest you go check them out because they're actually pretty good. I'm not just saying that because it's my channel. Actually, I enjoyed even editing them. It was good. Well, come on. Well, the police aren't looking for you. You didn't steal any doggy treats. All right. You know what? Let's go do another. As we're walking back to the trade deal that I'm about to show you, we can go get Bolt hooked up on another treat. All right, Mike Work, W-O-R-K-E, Mike Work. This is your opportunity to win a prize. Bolt smells it in my hand. Okay, Bolt, you ready? You gotta win this from Mike. This is a fair throw. Oh, man. Didn't even try for you. He does catch them every now and then. Probably 1 out of every 15 he will catch. So anyways, ooh, the next one is Zach Weller. I know you. You hooked me up with a Charger. So you are next, Zach, but we'll get to you in a minute. So this Charger here in the background, this one right behind me, is the 69 RT Charger that I had traded for my running, driving, 12-second duct tape drags finalist Charger. Yes, if you have not seen a video on that, that is a good build series. That was a cheap 74 Charger that we drug home off Marketplace. Found out it was a super rare U-code for factory 440 decked out car. Power windows, sunroof, 440, AC, 355 axle package, 8 3/4, special ordered color, like decked out car. So what do? We unbolt everything off of it to make it lighter, put a hotter motor in it and go drag race with it. And we made it to the finals. So spoiler alert, yeah, we made it to the finals, but this is still a good video to watch if you have not seen that. But this is the car the guy had just brought me today. He didn't know a whole lot about it. He just knew it was a 69 RT. He had gotten this car years ago. It was abandoned on a property. The new owners of the property told him he could have it. I think that was how the story went. Guy had died, blah, 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 estate, you know, type thing. And he got this car. Of course, he's a Dukes of Hazzard guy. So what he had done is he had bombed the thing. He said back then he spent $8 in orange paint. You can kind of see the orange. Bombed it in orange, you know, because the Dukes of Hazzard. You know, I'm a Dukes of Hazzard fan. I got a bunch of videos on my General Lee. Right now it needs a transmission. We kind of thrashed on that car and maybe broke the tranny. But the reason I'm on this, doing this video right now is, okay, the car does not have a fender tag. So its options are not like, pow, in your face, this is what the car is. This is known what the car is. There are, even though this car is fully stripped, like some deal went down, probably some bad blood, because the only thing that was left of this car is what you see here. Like, the people even cut out the core support to steal the engine transmission out of it. They didn't bother pulling it out correctly and not damage the car. I mean, hell, they wanted the window regulators out of it. So instead of unbolting the window regulators, they just hacked out the panel on both sides, just hacked it out and took the whole window regulator stuff out of it. So granted, that panel, those two panels that were cut out, bam, bam, they are in the car. They're actually under the hood. So, but yeah, the only other things that came with the car is the hood and the rear glass. Now, I've looked at this car and I noticed there's actually a couple things on this thing that, you know, I can tell what this car was. Now, obvious right off the bat, we have the VIN tag. So this is XS29L9, what was it? B. Okay, so XS29, that tells us it is an RT Charger. It's the special edition, XS Special. And then 29 is obviously the hardtop. And then we have L, which that tells us it is a 440. In 1969, that L meant 440, the big end motor. Next we have 9, which is obviously 1969. It's a 69 Charger. And the next letter was B, which I believe is the plant that the car was built at, if I remember right. Actually, I believe that is what that is. Now, and then the rest of that is just the serial number. And it is, you know, obvious serial number. We'll just say 109 is the last 3 digits. Now, they cut the core support out. So the core support is what had one VIN number on it. There was a VIN number on this, well, we'll call it a serial number. Actually, that's correct. There was a serial number on the top of the core support to show that this VIN right here matched the body. That one's cut out, so we don't know. Hey, does this VIN even belong to this car? You know, has it been VIN swapped? Is it stolen? Well, there's 2 numbers. So there's another number right here, and it is 109. So we know that this body, this body of the car belongs to that VIN tag, and it is original. It is unmolested. This is the original panel. Just by looking at it, is the original, well, obviously the original panel to that VIN tag. Now, okay, we know it's an RT, bodies match the VIN, and which is cool. We don't have to deal with that hassle. And then we get to looking at the car. It's okay, it has a blue door jamb, it has a red door jamb. So it's like, is the car blue or red? And then you get to looking at it. Okay, you can see the floors have blue on it. You know, the other 2 door jambs are blue. That inside window regulator was blue. This inside regulator was blue. The rear seat pan's blue. You know, the trunk pan is blue. Which, side note, you see how amazingly solid this car is? The entire trunk pan is there. Look at the rear valence. That thing is awesome. Hey, Bolt, do you want another treat? You know what? My buddy Zach in Bear Oil, Wyoming, which has hooked me up with a Charger. One of my favorite Chargers. He's tried to buy it from me, but it's actually one of my favorite cars. It is an orange 383 4-speed, white interior, no vinyl top, 68 Charger. and super rare car. Like, they only made 219 383 4-speed 4-barrel Chargers. They only made a handful of real orange 68 Chargers. Now, when you decode it, it says bright red, but it's orange. Sorry, Mopar, you're just dumb on that part. It's orange. But that's actually a really cool video. It's an old video, but it's on my channel. You can look it up. I might even try and show a thumbnail right here. But Bolt, for Zach, you got to do this for Zach. He's a buddy of ours. So, okay, you ready? And we're gonna be fair. We're gonna stand same distance. Okay, catch this for Zach. Here we go. Oh, you had it in your mouth and you dropped it. Does not count, Zach. That's cheating. He dropped it. If it hits the floor, it's out. It has to stay in his mouth. But Zach, sorry, bud. Bolt let you down. Anyways, back to the car. See how amazingly solid this car is. I mean, this thing must have sat without anything in it for a long time. But earlier I was talking about bad deals. You know, like maybe a deal went down to where he didn't pay his bill at the body shop, and maybe the body shop stripped the car of everything. Like, took the man's sun visors, the wiring harness, gauge cluster, every nut and bolt and screw. I mean, the doors, the fenders, the grill, the bumpers. I mean, this thing got robbed like Detroit City on Main Street drag, snatched, dissected, and abandoned. All right, so we have determined that most likely, actually pretty much 100%, this car is blue. Now, we know we have a blue 69 RT Charger. It is an AC car. See, I'm like, hey, it's an AC car. It's got the cutouts for the AC vents in the dash. But see, dashes could be changed, but it has that VIN on it. So most likely that VIN belongs to the dash. And then we look at the firewall, and yep, 100%, those are AC components on the firewall. It even still has the little clamp on the inner fender over there to hold the hard line for the AC. So we know this was in fact 69 RT 440 AC B5 blue Charger. And then you get to looking into it more, and it's like, hey, there's a hole there, and I know this is the original quarter panel. So then we look, hey, but there's two holes. So, but I see this hole here, and I'm like, hey, wait, was that for a 68 side marker? But I'm like, no, that 69 side marker is original to this quarter panel. It's not been spliced in. That's original. So it's almost like that was either a security system key for the lock, or somebody for some reason wanted to put a 68 side marker. But if you look at the other side, it doesn't have that. So that tells me that right there, someone had tried, that was maybe the little key slot for the old school security systems, the alarm systems. If you look over here, it has those same little two holes. What those two holes are is, this is where the RT emblem went. So there was two options for an RT. You had a stripe, or you had a stripe delete, which meant there was no stripe, but instead they just put a giant RT emblem right here. So 69 RT AC B5 blue stripe delete car. So that's what we have determined this car is thus far. Now wait, there's more. I've got a little bit of headliner residue here, which is black. Okay, the horn button is black. Now the horn button could have easily been changed, but it's black, and also the dash is black, and we've determined that most likely 100% this dash belongs to that VIN. The dash pad's black, so it was a black interior car. So B5 blue, black interior, and there's no reminiscences of the vinyl top, so it's hard to tell. Yeah, there's just nothing left of the vinyl top, so like you cannot tell what the vinyl top color was, but most likely it was black. So black interior typically went with the black top. What can we also determine this car used to be? Well, I see a hole there in the floor pan, the transmission hump, which tells me this was a console car, console automatic. So the shifter was on the floor in the console. And see, there's also the console bracket here, which verifies, yes, and you can tell that's original. This was a console B5 blue, black interior, 440 AC car. And I know because it still has the steering column for a floor shift car. If this was a column car, it would have a hump here, which you would put for the on the column shifter. All right, so pretty cool car, and that's just what we've determined thus far. Oh, this is in my face right now, so I'm going to get back to this. I see this has, it had a red door jamb here, but if you look, there's 3 layers there. 1, 2, 3. That tells me that there's one too many layer. This door jamb had been added. Now, they didn't do a bad job adding it, but I can see MIG weld, and a decent, spot welds, or not, plug welds. And you see that this is red all the way up to here. So they had added that door jamb, which could have been from an accident. And if you look inside, okay, so we have red door jamb, and it goes and goes and goes until, if you look right here, there's a, well, try and get in there. I don't know if you can see it now, there's a seam right here. That is where they had butt welded the red quarter panel to the original blue quarter panel. And I can see that they had spliced in an outer wheelhouse just to the original outer wheelhouse. And didn't do a terrible job. I mean, it's not the best job, but it's definitely not the worst job. So we can see blue, it's blue, 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 up until probably about, actually I think I might see that line right there in the primer. Just a little bit, I can barely vaguely see it. But yeah, we can see red quarter panel, and then blue quarter panel. So that's where it was spliced in, it was right there. And it was most likely from an accident. And this car was probably being restored when whatever deal happened went down and they stripped the car. Don't know. I don't know the whole backstory, but this is just me visually looking at this car, trying to figure out what this car is. So we have 69 RT 440 AC B5 blue console shift automatic stripe delete car thus far. Now, okay, we get under here. If this is original, and if the suspension is original, it is a drum power brake car. This is a drum master cylinder, and that is the drum power brake booster. And if we look here, okay, that is drum brakes. So we've determined it is a power drum brake car. What else can we learn from this car? Right in my face, there is a switch here. There is a button. What that tells me is that this was a light package car, which meant there was a light in the trunk. And it also tells me that the hood should also have turn signals on it. Yes, if it's a light package car, the hood will have blinkers in the insert of the hood, which it does. See, right there, that is where the turn signals would be in the hood. And you would only have those if it was a light package car. So it is all adding up. Also, if it's a light package car, you will have a map light there, which it's been stolen, and you will also have a little light right here to light up the keyhole for when you open and close the door inside the car. So light package, stripe delete, B5 blue, console automatic, black interior, AC car, power drum brakes. And if that steering wheel is original to this car, we know it was ordered with a wood grain wheel, which if we look, someone has actually wrapped it in that leather wrap, and the steering wheel is actually in really good shape, which is a bonus. Let's see if we can tell if steering wheel's been added recently or if it's been on there for a while. And that steering wheel has been on there for a long time. So you can usually tell when bolts have been undone, nuts have been undone. That has not been undone for a long time. The steering wheel has probably never been removed. What else can we learn from the 69 RT Charger? See, one thing I can probably tell is this was not, even though this car was brought to me from California, it's probably not an original California car, because in California they didn't have the straight out exhaust tips. They actually turned them down. California's dumb. Yeah, but instead of having the cool chrome exhaust tips like this, it was just a round pipe that would come out and turn down. Something with EPA, maybe they thought if they turned the exhaust down, it'll stop it from going up to the atmosphere, the emissions. It's just cow farts and whatnot. Just... Anyways, this looks like it's probably still has the original axle in it, because over there is 7 leafs. Over here is 6 leafs. The RTs would have had a 7 and 6 split stack. That is to help with all the additional torques to help keep the left front tire down and going airborne from all the massive 440 torques when you launched it from the street line. Drag race street line. Man, those guys even stole the filler neck tube going down to the gas tank, but they left the gas tank. Now, this might be the original rear end, seeing as how those are the original leafs. And I'm just, see, there's a circle here. Anytime I've seen these diffs and there was an X there, like a yellow X, that meant it had a sure grip in it. Anytime I've seen a circle there, it usually had an open diff in it. I'm kind of curious. Maybe we should check that out. Check out the cool racing profile Pro Track 60 275 60 14s. Yes, it's a 14-inch rim. So, and these look like a matching pair. 14s in the front, and those are Remingtons in the front. So, you know, these wheels and tires have not been on the road in a long time. They have not sold these tires in a long time. But the axle is in the air. There's air under that tire. And if I'm going to spin this tire right here, and if this tire spins this way, and that tire over there spins the opposite direction, that means that that circle has verified that it is an open diff, not a sure grip or posi. So here we go. You can see both tires from here. Well, it is in fact an open diff. This tire's spinning that way, that tire's spinning the opposite direction, which means open diff. Kind of a bummer, but a lot of RTs were sold that way. They were better street cars. See, another way we can tell if that axle had in fact not been tampered with is there will be an ID tag on one of the bolt holes or on one of the studs for the rear axle telling you what the gear ratio was inside the diff. So we're gonna jack it up again and scope it out to see if we can see what the ratio is. Most likely it's a 323 or a 293. That was the most common. Put some light on the subject. Bam, and the tag is still there. Yep, that tag right there will tell us what the gear ratio is inside this rear end. Most likely it's the original tag because nobody ever put the tags back on. Once they came off, nobody ever put them back on. And it is dun, 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 a 323. So yep, that's a 3, that's a 2, and that's a 3. So it is, wham, just like I thought, a 323 open diff, which is pretty common in an RT. Another thing that most likely belonged to the car is the rear and front glass. See how they kind of have like a greenish tint to them? Like there's a slight greenish tint. That was tinted glass, and that was standard with all AC cars to help cool down the interior. We also know it was a vinyl top car because it had the trim holes here, which is, this is the holes that held the trim that separated vinyl top to body paint. So it would actually go all the way down the sail panel, wrap around here, and then it would continue forward too. But see, you see someone had covered up the holes. we actually looked up in there. I can't see up in there right now, but I bet those holes would be, in fact, over there. See, yep, those holes are there. Now, being it was an RT with light package, wood grain wheel, and stripe deletes, you know, I kind of got to think, I was like, I wonder if this was an RT SE, which the only way you would have known that is if you had the fender tag or the build sheet, or on the on the sail panel here, there would be two tiny holes close to each other, which would have held a square SE emblem. It actually was just a square emblem that said SE on it, which told you if it was an SE Charger. Now, they're not there. They've been mudded over. And by looking from the inside, you can see some of the mud right here. That's a, there we go. It's picked off some of the Bondo rivet there. And I looked in there closer. The gap was spread farther apart for the two holes, which meant it was not an RT SE. It was just a Charger. It was not an SE car. Another kind of giveaway to me on that is SE cars all had the stainless trim that went around the pedal assemblies or the pedal pads. So there would have been a stainless trim just to kind of dress up and make the pedals like pow, look more fancier. Also, of course, there's no way to tell. An SE car would have had a wood grain bezel for the dash. So the gauges would have had a wood grain cover over it, wood grain radial bezel, and it would have had wood grain over the glove box. Being as there's nothing on the dash anymore, it's kind of impossible to know what radio is in it. But I did just notice, you see that notch, this hole right in the middle of the screen there, next to the radio? I believe that is where the dial was for the upgraded radio to adjust the volume in the rear speakers. So the I believe that notch was only there for the upgraded AM radio. So kind of just one little, like you can kind of dissect a car just like they do with well, human remains, I guess. You know, to see what it was, who it was. You know, you can kind of look at what's left of a body and it'll give you a good idea of what the car was. One other thing, it just bluntly hit me in the face. It is a 2-speed wiper car. So there was two different wiper assemblies. You had a 3-speed wiper, which had a horizontal motor assembly, and then you had a 2-speed, which is what this is, which just motor protruded straight out. So the wipers had only 2 speeds, high and low, for the knocking the rain off the windshield while doing 150 miles per hour in your Charger, because that's what the speedometer said on it, 150. Rally gauges, Chargers all came with rally gauges. It is cookie time for Bolt. So next we have Todd Jones. He has 2 treats for you, Bolt. We're gonna do one right now. We'll save one for later. Give him a better chance. Maybe Bolt's not in a catching mood right now. But are you ready? Here we go. It's gonna go right to your mouth, buddy. Up, 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 and fail. Sorry, Todd. Maybe the next guy is Arnie Fredrickson. Maybe Arnie is the only lucky one, because I've only got 1 treat left. So we'll get to that in a minute. So yes, this was the trade deal that I had just done, and I thought you guys might find it interesting on how I was able to dissect and determine what this old Charger used to be. So it's just kind of neat. You know, there's a lot of history in these cars, and things change. Car panels get replaced, items get changed on a car, wheels get changed, axles get changed, third members, interior colors, even body paint colors. A lot of things get changed over these cars, but there's always still hints and things you can look for to see what the car used to be. And this was just my perspective in looking at this car to see what this car was sold new as. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I thought maybe about just turning it into like another General Lee Thrasher car or whatever, race car. I don't know. I don't have any plans for it at the moment. So maybe you can suggest what I should do with it. So go ahead and drop in the comments, what should I do with this Charger? You know, and hit me up. heyjunkerup@gmail. You know, you can, you know, fill me in. What should I do with this car? But, all right, Arnie Fredrickson, are you going to be the lucky person from Bolt today to catch? Is he going to catch the only treat today? All right, Bolt, here we go. You got, oh, he's drooling already at the mouth. Look at that, he's drooling. Here we go. Oh, no, you can't get, no, that's cheating. You can't get closer. Can't get closer. Sit there. All right, here we go. Ready? It's coming right to you. Oh, he caught it. Arnie, he caught your treat. See, I'm not lying. Every now and then he does catch one. So, Arnie Fredrickson, I have got to send you something, buddy. It's going to be a die cast, most likely. But you are the winner today. Well, as you can see, the sun is going down. I'm going to go inside and eat. Thanks for watching, guys. And there's all kinds of other things I've done on this channel. Cool stuff, car builds, I mean, race cars, Chevelles. I got those 2 race car Chargers out front if you haven't seen videos on those. And check out the 74 Charger that I had traded with this car. It's pretty cool. So, thanks for watching, guys. Time for me to go get some food. I'm sitting here watching Bolt eat and I'm getting hungry. I saved my doggy treat list. And if you want to help give Bolt some doggy treats, just go to junkerupgarage.com. And I need to get some more merch on there. I'm working on stuff. But if you would like, I'm getting kind of thirsty right now. So if you want to give me a drink tip, that would be great. Where did I put my beer? I put my beer somewhere. I need to go find that. Come on, Bolt. Let's both get drinks. But yeah, junkerupgarage.com. You can hook up Bolt with some treats. Aha, it's still cold-ish. I ran out of mango cart. Food time. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.